Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing an in the bag video for my bag. Kind of going into the summer, I'm hoping to play a lot of tournaments this summer. Most of this is what I've been using for a while, but there are some new additions, so we'll be going over that. Very different from my last in the bag video. Got a lot of special discs in here, some that are new, some that are very old. Just wanted to share with you what they are. We'll start out with putters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the disc, what disc I'm using there, the name of it. I'm going to add the flight numbers, and I'm also going to add kind of the flight numbers I would personally rate it for where it's at in my bag right now, so that y'all can kind of get an idea of what I'm using that disc for if I don't describe it very well. So jumping right in with putters, putting putters. Over here on the side pouch, I've got two classic blend Judges. I really like these things. This one's a little bit older. This is the one I'm always putting with. This one I'll sometimes putt with. I usually don't check and see which one I'm putting with. I will sometimes look for this one. This one's newer though, so since this one's old, I like to throw this one if I'm throwing a Judge, and then I'll putt with this one. So these are classic blend Judges, stamp wiped. On the side pouch also I've got a Glitch Dog Days Open stamp just for throwing around before the round, and some special upshots where I'm really needing to get some glide out of it. Also, my bag is not organized at all, so I might have to rifle through it a little bit. This is a Jawbreaker Zone, really good for the woods. I enjoy the Jawbreaker Zone. This one is very lumpy. It has seen its last day. It's only in the bag for this video. As soon as I can get back up to disc that and start full, I am getting another Jawbreaker Zone. But staple of the bag, great approach disc to have. Then we've got the Get Freaky Disc and That stamped zone. I'm sponsored by Disc and That, by the way, just in case y'all didn't know that. Hence the. Anyway, this is a Get Freaky Brody zone with the Disc and That stamp on it. Very overstable, just a good approach disc. A little bit more overstable than the Jawbreaker one. Great for just being able to put it out flat. If I throw it hard, it'll go straight for a good while and it'll have that reliable finish. Similar to that, we have the Justices. So this is a old Lucid Justice. I believe it's Lucid. I sometimes get mixed up on the Trilogy plastic. Just overstable, more overstable in the zone for really hooking around some trees, getting some flare skips, that kind of stuff. And the counterpart to that is Old Faithful, the lumpy classic blend Moonshine Justice. Sits great whenever it hits the ground. Very lumpy. Still feels good in the hand though. I can forehand this and I don't throw a lot of forehands. Just really reliable approach disc. A little faster than zone, so I can throw it a lot harder and get it to go a lot farther. I'm usually throwing this on open stuff about 280 feet and in. Then we've got the Berg, opposite of the Glitch. This is a K1 soft Berg, so I can throw it pretty hard. It'll get a little flip. It's just dead straight though. Such a good disc. And then I'll show this first. So I have a Protostar Mirage. This is a really flippy end of a putter. This is bread and butter on short wooded courses where I can just throw it on barely any, 30% power and get this thing drifting right around some trees if I'm not really feeling a forehand through a tight gap. Throwing uphill, like really uphill shots, I can put on hyzer and it'll go uphill. Just an amazing disc. Super glidey. I tell everybody this is exactly what the Rolo wants to be. Super fun disc. And then these I don't really throw as much. They're kind of just filling spots in my bag that I don't really use. I have a Pilot. I've aced with this thing like 3 times, so it's kind of hard to take it out of the bag. I still throw it every once in a while, but it's really touchy. And then this Pure is much less flippy than the Mirage, so it's a little bit more workable. Really good glidey disc. And then this Pure is the one that I'm still trying to figure out. Also pretty touchy. Definitely less flippy than the Pilot, but a lot of times if I'm going for like a flippier shot where I'm trying to like drift something right, I just throw the Jawbreaker Zone really hard and instead of reaching for a Pure. But sometimes if I'm in the woods and I need to really glide slowly on a turning shot, I'll use this. And that wraps up the putters. So we will move on to mid-ranges now. So for my mid-ranges, I have 5. I classify my Justices as putters because most of the time I'm throwing them for stuff that I'm throwing like a zone. So I know those are mid-ranges, but I consider them, like whenever I'm thinking through my putters, I'm always counting my Justices in as putters because I'm never just like, they're specialty discs. So true mid-ranges, I have, we'll go overstable to understable. I've got a Malta So this is for pushing pretty straight right out the gap, and then as soon as it slows down because of this bead, getting really stable. There's a few discs that I had tried out before that either push too straight or they just start dumping too early. This is right in between. I know some people don't like the Malta, but I really like this one. I've liked Maltas for a while now. And then I've got a overstable buzz, ESP Swirl. This is from the Mississippi Disc Golf Championships. This is just a buzz I can put on a little bit of hyzer, and it's going to hold that hyzer and just go really, really far for a buzz. Without me having to like flip it up or anything. It kind of holds the line I put it on, and I can drift it over just a little bit on some anhyzer and it'll still fight back just a little at the end. And that thing's little brother is the older ESP buzz. This one's a little bit flippier. I can put this on some hyzer and get flip up to flat, drift right just a little bit. Basically this is the go-to on straight long wooded shots. I mean, this is just cutting up fairways all the time. Then that one's little brother is the Buzz SS, which is just a flippier version of the Buzz for stuff where I need to like get some turn out of it. And a little tighter shots, maybe I can put this on some hyzer, be a little bit more confident with it, and let it flip up without having to force a standard Buzz in. And then we've got probably the oldest disc in my bag, the Mako 3. This has been in all 3 of the In the Bag videos. And it's really not it's not a roller. It's just a good flippy Mako 3. So this is for anything that I need to hold and drift right the entire time. Slow, glidey disc. Very, very fun to throw. And that's it for mid-ranges. So I'll move on to fairway drivers now. Probably my favorite spot fairway drivers. So for fairway drivers, I'll go 7-speed, and I'll move up from that. So I've got Mr. Crave. Lightweight, this is like 166 gram Proton Crave. Really for just flipping something up quick, letting it drift right. I can throw this thing pretty hard and I'm pretty consistent with it, but I don't throw it a lot, so it's kind of a special shot that I use it for. But Craves are awesome. I love the Crave. And then this is my go-tos, okay? I'll start overstable. So I use a lot of these Explorers. I've got 3 of them in the bag, not this specific one, but Explorers in general. So this is an Opto-X Emerson Keith Explorer. This one is my overstable one. Really flies true to its flight number 7502. Just a great disc. I can throw this thing probably 400 feet if I'm getting a good hold of it. So it's great in the woods where I can just control it. It's going to go straight and then hyzer right at the very end. Super reliable disc. I mean, I'm throwing this, if you've played any Tupelo course, I throw this all over Music Bend. I throw this all over Trace State Park, those courses. This is just a go-to disc. I love the Explorers. I love the feel of the 7-speed in my hand over the 9 speeds. So I've got a few of those in the bag. Next up is the Metal Flake Explorer. This is a little bit older run. It's got more of a rounded rim than this one. That one's kind of more flat, a little bit built to be more overstable. This one's a little bit older, Metal Flake. This is my flip it up to flat. I can drift it over right just a little bit if I need to. It's still got some good fade to it though, which I like. And so it's a little bit straighter, but it's not quite as straight as this guy, which is nope, that's not it. This guy, which is new to my bag. This is an old pre-Innova Ricky Wysocki Explorer. This thing is straight as an arrow. I mean, I can pump this thing hard, and I was throwing it today probably about 360 feet just on a rope. I mean, it doesn't move. Great for in the woods, just get into a landing zone. I can throw it out in the open, be very accurate with it. This is the best disc that has hit my bag recently. And I just ordered another one brand new, one of these exact same run for $15. So I'm getting that in, I'll have a backup, and I will be super happy. I mean, this is the best disc that has hit my bag, old Ricky Explorer. I think, in my opinion, that flies like a FD. I think that's the Discmania disc. That's kind of a straight 7-speed. So moving on, we'll go to the 9 speeds, which I have a Halo Firebird. You can imagine what this is for, just big hooks, big hyzers, forehands, backhands, just anything I need to hook really fast. And then I've got a little bit more usable one, really old King Climo Champ Firebird. This one's a little bit straighter. I can pump this pretty hard, pretty flat, and it'll give me some good finish at the end. But but I can also throw it on some flex lines. Very solid disc. I mean, if you like Firebirds and you don't have an old Climo Firebird, you're definitely missing out. They don't make them like they used to. We've got the Caleb Collins Special, the Thunderbird, Jeremy Colling. I got this from Dawson Johns. It's a really good disc. I like this a little bit better on forehand than I do my Explorers. I don't really throw a whole lot of forehands in general, but the 9-speed rim does feel better for me on forehands than the Explorers do. So this really gets thrown on a lot of forehands. It does get thrown on some backhands. If I really need this to push pretty straight and on hyzer for a little bit farther than I need to push an Explorer, I can do that with this and be pretty confident in it. Then we've got a Glow Lift. Gives me a little bit of turn with some good fade. Pretty new, doesn't get used a whole lot. And its little brother, we've got the older Proton Lift. This thing just drifts right. This is a good one in the woods again. I can put on a little bit of hyzer, just about like that, get it drifting over to the right pretty quickly. I got a good eagle with this a couple days ago out at the Saltillo course. Par 4, kind of shorter par 4. Got all the way up to the pin. Really good disc. And here we go. The Diamond, 170 gram diamond, actually. So kind of crazy. Most of diamonds are lightweight. This is actually a max weight diamond. This is for scramble shots, super high, get it to drift shots, and rollers, basically. If I'm pulling for this, chances are I'm not where I want to be. So there's a diamond for you. And that's it for fairway drivers. We will go to distance drivers, and I'll go overstable to understable. I have some really cool ones here, but I've lost a few recently, so I'll kind of explain some slots I'm trying to fill and trying to get to with that. So for distance drivers, I use primarily Forces and Ballista Pros, and I have one Zeus. Spoiler alert. So Forces, most overstable, I've got the Hank Hill Z Force. I drew that myself. This thing is very overstable. It's not unusable. But it doesn't have a lot of glide potential that I've learned compared to my other Forces. I don't know why. I can't get this thing out more than about 360 feet unless I put it on just a wild flex line. So it's good for like controlled, accurate hyzer shots, but really it's not good for that much else. Then we've got little brother, actually son of that Force. We got the Bobby Hill Force. This one is a little bit less stable than that one. This one can go pretty far though. This is for just hitting a straight shot to hyzer out. Very, very easy to use this disc. I can put it on a little bit and hyzer and it'll always come out. But Bobby Art, signature of Zach Crawford, it's a good Force. So that Force is trying to replace a ESP one that I lost that was just dead straight. Great disc, got a little bit of turn. It was a little flippier than what I wanted it to be while I still had it, but so I lost that. Don't know where I left it at all. And I got the Bobby Force to replace it for now. Then one of my favorite discs in my bag, we have the Andrew Presnell Rocket League Force. I love Rocket League, one of my favorite video games. I play it all the time with my buddies and with my disc golf buddies. They're both Rocket League and disc golf buddies. This is Jawbreaker ESP. A little bit flippier plastic for the Force to be in, and I love it. It's a really good flip up to flat disc. I can flip it over. This is a good Force. This is a really good Force. It's beaten in really to right where that other one that I lost was, and this is probably a little bit flippier even than that older ESP one that I lost. So then we have the darker Ballista Pro. This is my pink one. This one's overstable. This is really good for throwing in headwinds where I've got an open shot and I can just rip it on some hyzer, get some good distance out of it, but I really only use this in a headwind, what I'm learning. And it's got this another Gold Line Ballista Pro. This one's a little bit flippier. I can consistently know that this is going to flip over. And to give you an idea, I use my Ballista Pros more for out in the open. So if I've got a wide fairway that I can really flex a disc on, get some good motion out of it left to right, I'll throw these because I'm not as accurate left to right with the Ballista Pros because they're a little bit thicker rim, they're a little bit shallower disc, so they're a little bit touchier on their angles than the Forces are. If I'm needing to be accurate with where I'm putting the disc, I'll usually throw the Forces. So like you'll see me throwing Forces on long par 3s a lot more than you'll see me throwing Ballista Pros on long par 3s. But you'll see me on long par 4s, you'll see me throwing the Ballista Pros off the tee a lot because I usually don't have to control quite where I'm landing as much on those longer par 4s as long as I'm staying in the fairway. So these are a little bit less left to right accuracy, but I feel like I can throw them a little bit farther. So they're really good for those open golf courses. Not quite as good in the woods. And I have one more Ballista Pro. That's this guy, the old yellow bomber. This thing's really flippy now. It's sad because this was my go-to for a long time. Also, I don't think the camera can see them. Some of these discs have a little smiley face in the top right side. That means it's been thrown over 500 feet, like air shots. So these Ballista Pros have them. All 3 of them do. And my Forces don't have them, so that might tell you something. But this thing in its glory days was an amazing disc. It was really good hyzer flip disc. Now it's a little too flippy. It really doesn't come out of those hyzer flips anymore. It just drifts right. But it's starting to find a way as a roller disc, and it's still a great scrambler. If I need to throw over something, just drift right for the entire way. It's still got some uses, so it stays in the bag. And last but not least is this Zeus. I lost a Zeus that I really liked. It was a Big Z Zeus, and this was kind of the replacement for it. This one's a little flippier than what I was hoping it would be. I primarily use the Zeuses for forehands. Like I don't forehand Ballista Pros at all, ever. I'll forehand my Forces. I'll forehand this. This is just a little bit flippier version. So this is kind of my flippy forehand disc. I don't really throw a lot of flip up forehands, but if I need to, this is what I'll go to, and I just feel confident throwing this. So that's the distance drivers. Well, that concludes the in the bag. That concludes the discs that are in there. So I do have a few, I would say, honorable mentions. I throw some XLs every once in a while in the woods. I've got a few extra Makos that different stabilities I'll throw in there. But generally speaking, those are the discs that I'm going to be taking to most courses. I'll switch a few of them in and out depending on if I'm in the woods or if I'm out in the open. I've got Shrike I'll throw in for some good roller shots. But that's pretty much what I use. The bag here is a Latitude 64 E4 Deluxe. It's got a lot of little side compartments and stuff I can keep food and minis in. I had a mini I was going to show y'all earlier. I don't think I have it anymore. It's from a tournament I won, so it was kind of cool. Meaningful mini. Got the little crazy caddy, little spins, tells you what shot you should throw. I got that from my girlfriend. Got a marker. But yeah, that's the in the bag. So 2 things I wanted to leave y'all with. If y'all have any discs y'all want me to check out, or if y'all like some of the discs I use, let me know. I'm always looking for new stuff to try out. If you think that maybe something I said that I lost would be a good replacement, or if you've got a good replacement, let me know. And other than that, so I said earlier I have 3 in the bag videos out. This will be the 3rd. I would like to do a little thing where if you can find a specific disc from one of my in the bag videos and comment, tell me what disc it was, I'm going to offer a disc from my collection as a reward. So I'll either ship it to you, if you're local I can get it to you that way. So the disc is, if you can tell me what the yellow honorable mention disc in my first in the bag series was, then first person to comment it will get a disc from my collection. It'll be a good one. It won't just be like a crappy DX Wraith or something. It'll be something good. But so if you've been watching my YouTube, there is another in the bag video on there, but that's not the first one I made. So you might have to do a little digging to find that. It's the honorable mention yellow disc in my first in the bag video. And with that, I'll let y'all go. Thank y'all for watching. And this will I'll be using for a 2024 season. I've got 1 win with it in MPO already. So we're hoping to see a lot more this summer. Thank y'all.